Hi, welcome to Between the Covers, the show for readers and writers and lovers of books. I'm Stephanie Larkin, author, book developer, publisher, and head penguin at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company for authors of all genres, so whether you're writing fiction, nonfiction, paranormal, psychology, whatever it is, if you've got a book inside of you, or maybe you have reams of papers that you have just been trying to organize for the past decade, just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and unleash your inner author. A huge thank you today to our sponsor, Don Pablo Coffee. As an author, I am up very late, and I'm sure our fabulous authors today on the couch can attest for the fact that you really do need a good cup of coffee. So Don Pablo Coffee. We are so lucky to have not one, not two, but three amazing authors and inspirational human beings tonight. So I am so welcome to have them on our show tonight. So please give a big hand to Isla, to Rick, and to Lois. Before we get started, I do want to give you an official Between the Covers membership card, because now your books will be part of our library, and people keep borrowing books, which is what we want, by the way, folks. And if you would like to join the Between the Covers Club, you get, well, you can come here to the studio and have wine with us. Take out books. We also have free books online, book recommendations, things like that.
Thank you.
So please do, I think that's that way.
Thank you.
Please do go to BetweenTheCoversTV.com, where you can also watch all of our past episodes. And as we talk to our authors tonight, all of their links to their books, their biographies, their events, everything is on the website. So please go to BetweenTheCoversTV.com so you can learn more about our authors. And, you know, I forget what I titled tonight's episode, but I should have titled it Superstars or How to Be Your Best Self. Because really, that's kind of what the three of you are all about. You're all about fashion, which is we should always be our best self. See,
well, we try.
And you're about health.
Health and fitness.
Health and fitness, and you're looking like your best self.
Well, thank you.
So, and Lois, you're about bringing it all together.
As a coach, yes.
As a coach, yeah, so that we can all be our best self. So since, you know, it is a book show, and we always talk about some book quotes, so I threw up some inspirational book quotes for our audience, but let's see if they speak to you too. So what's our first quote that I threw up there? Here it is. You don't have to live forever, you just have to live. From Tuck Everlasting. Feel free to pipe in if any of these speak to you. I was just like on inspirationalbookquotes.com, if that's a thing.
It is.
Actually, there's like some web address under there that, you know, for inspirational book quotes. Our next one I really love, and I think this one speaks to Lois because I can see it from your table of contents. I would always rather be happy than dignified.
Yep. That's me.
And when we talk about your book and your work, I think that's kind of, you know, you very much live in the moment.
Yes.
This is where we are right now.
As a coach, I feel I help people make their dreams come true.
Absolutely.
Can't beat that.
And we have here a fitness guy, and I have never once looked dignified doing this.
If you look dignified, you're not doing it right.
Absolutely. But this next one is absolutely for you. Our next quote here. Beware, for I am fearless, therefore powerful, from Frankenstein.
Absolutely.
Okay, that speaks to
that's
Central theme of my book.
Yeah,
sure.
So strength in body can give us confidence. You were talking about that in your book a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. So, you know, the book that I co-wrote a few years ago called Alpha Male Challenge is really about being your best self. And it's Alpha Male Challenge, but I've had so many women through the years since then who've said, when is there going to be an Alpha Female Challenge?
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like getting a little scared.
So, but really the book is good for anybody. It's a 10-week kind of transformation book for diet, for exercise, and about attitude. Really finding the confidence to exercise your courage like a muscle, you know, and by exercising it, you make it grow.
Well, I think this, and all three of you have this, that the physical manifestation is so tied in with what's going on inside. You know, if you're feeling lousy inside, fix the body.
Right.
You know, put on a nice pair of shoes. That's a nice pair of shoes.
I think the audience wants to see
The audience
now.
needs to see the nice pair of shoes.
How do
Can
I
you
sit?
see the nice pair of shoes? She feels fabulous. I couldn't walk in them.
They're fun.
But there's a lot to do with this, huge connection.
Right.
Absolutely.
They say, like, when you're in the hospital and you're sick, the doctor knows when you're feeling better that first day that you put on some lipstick and you washed up, and they're like, oh. So sometimes if you don't feel well, wash your face and put on some lipstick.
Right.
No, it also adds to
It's true.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You can make yourself feel
Absolutely.
better by just, superficially improving the way you look can make you feel better inside about
So the
yourself.
10-week challenge can make you a new person.
Absolutely. Try it out.
We're going to try it out.
When
Let's see
I
what our
do-
next quote is. There we go. I'm not afraid of storms, for I am learning how to sail my ship. Ooh. No, we were talking before the show about skydiving. You didn't know I had a slide about sailing a ship. It's not
No, I didn't.
quite the
Okay.
same
No.
thing.
It's about pushing your boundaries a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I as part of the kind of lead up to the book, I started to figure out what I could do to sort of push my own boundaries and to, expand my courage, so to speak. And I started getting a little bit queasy about certain heights issues.
Okay.
And so the way that I overcame that was I signed up for a 13,000-foot skydive, which for me was a challenge. I did it for cancer research, so God forbid something went bad. At least,
Something good came out of it.
so,
You
I'd
what could
go
go
out,
wrong?
So, but it is. It's terrifying when you first do it, but
I
it's also
can't
incredibly
even.
empowering because when you land safely, which statistically you will, really. I mean,
Statistically, it's safer than the drive to the
probably,
You know?
yeah, but still subjectively, it really causes you to be scared and to
I love the
confront that
word
fear.
you use, though, empowering.
Totally.
That's really what I was thinking about the
Yeah.
three of you. This is about
Thank you.
empowerment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
We have-
what you were saying when I did career coaching, and we'll not only talk about their job search, but how they're feeling health-wise, how things are going with their family as well.
That's
Because it's a
huge.
holistic approach.
It's all connected, and we can't really separate one part of our life.
Yes,
It's all
exactly.
part of the same.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I think do we have one more quote there before we? There we are. I cannot go back to yesterday because I was a different person then. That's for my coach over there too. Absolutely. We can't go backwards.
That's right.
But we don't want to.
No.
There's no reason to go backwards. Just keep moving forward. Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a short break to speak with our sponsors and be back with our authors. Thanks.
The sun is getting warmer, but when we soar away among the clouds, the sky is just a border, but when we're floating up like helium.
Do you have a book, either in your head or on your desk, just waiting to get out to anxious readers? Hi, I'm Stephanie Larkin, author, book developer, and head penguin at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company specializing in books of all genres and publishing in all formats, including digital, audible, and print books. From business books to romance, memoirs to mysteries, our authors have complete control over their books from start to print. We'll help get your book to booksellers all around. Major booksellers such as Amazon, Apple, Kobo, Walmart, even libraries and bookstores around the world. We believe in our authors. So call or email today to get your free publisher's packet to get started. Just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and get your book out there and into the hands of your readers. At Red Penguin Books, you call all the shots. So call us today and turn your dreams into a reality.
This time it's getting warm.
Oh, look, there's... Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thanks for joining us. Our first guest for today is a fashion expert, which you can tell by her fabulous clothes. I wore faux fur just in her.
I like it.
I tried. But Isla has been every place. In fact, when you and I first kind of, friended on Facebook, I was like, who doesn't she know?
I try to get around.
You get around beautifully. So I know we have here how to win at shopping. I'm sure I have lots of viewers who definitely want to win it. And oh, good, we have a slide up with that, and also your book about Project Runway.
Project Runway, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about you, about the books, about shopping. Give us some tips. Where can we go? The whole bit.
Oh my gosh! Well,
everything.
There's a lot there. So I actually never thought I would be a writer.
Really?
Yeah. I started off as an actress when I was 12 years old. I decided that's what I was going to do, and I thought that's what I would do.
Okay, I'm not surprised because you're so well-spoken and beautiful.
Well, thank you. And so I did that for 10 years, and towards the end, I was up for a role in a soap opera, As the World Turns. And, I got close to getting...
Your audience, they were like, oh, I see it. I do too. I'm like, yes, I see it.
So I got close to getting this role, and then it didn't go to me. It went to this other actress. And, you
their
always...
mistake.
Clearly.
Clearly their
And
mistake.
so
and the show is now off the air, and that's the problem.
So screw them.
Exactly. I'm right there with you.
So you always want to see who got the part that you didn't get, right? So I looked, and it was this actress who no one ever heard of. It was probably her first job, and her name was Parker Posey. So, then she went on to become queen of the indie movies, and she's incredible. And so it got me thinking that had I gotten that role on the soap, would I have worked in all these indie movies?
Would you be Parker Posey?
So exactly, you don't know. So it gave me the idea for my first book, which was called Casting Might Have Beens, and it tells you the stories
I didn't even know about that.
of who auditioned for roles that went to other people and what happened, why they didn't get them.
That book.
And so, thank you. So so that was how I became a writer, and so I did that. And
I just want to say I love that you took this dark moment and turned it into a book.
Well, when you're an actor, you have 99% dark moments. I mean, that's what it is.
But I love that you didn't go home and be like, I didn't get the part. You wrote a book.
I did. And so, so I liked writing so much better than I liked acting. It was just, you're in control.
Can you say that about 3 more times for our audience here?
But for me, it was definitely the truth. You're in control of your own fate to an extent.
Yes.
So, so now I have 6 books published.
Look at you!
I just keep going.
Oh my God, you are an inspiration.
Thank you.
I love that, and I didn't even know how much you were an inspiration.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
Amazing. So after that first book about casting...
Right, Casting Might Have Beens.
Casting Might Have Beens. Now, the books I know about, obviously I don't know about all 6, are fashion books.
They are.
So are all the other ones besides casting fashion, and how did you get into fashion?
Well, no, I have another book about casting for television, the same sort of theme.
Oh, okay.
But the first one focused more on film, and this one, the second one, was called Mickey Rooney as Archie Bunker. And, that was a big story in the book. But it was the same thing, but focused on television.
Mickey Rooney was supposed to be Archie Bunker?
He turned it down, thinking...
You are kidding!
Thinking that it would be a complete disaster, that the audience would...
Well, I can't even picture that. That would be a disaster.
Right. But physically, he sort of looks like Carol O'Connor. So then I decided that I thought it would be interesting to write about and show people what happens during Fashion Week.
Just out of the blue.
Yes.
I feel like writing about fashion.
It's true, yeah. So I had the idea, and I'm someone who really goes after
I
what
see
they
that.
want. So I got myself invited to some shows. I can't even remember how I finagled
You are my
that.
heroine.
But
I am telling you.
But what I learned was that once I had invitations to shows, everyone I knew, regardless of their interest in fashion, came out of the woodwork saying, if you need someone to go with you, I'll be happy to go. So I saw that
I'm right there at that.
I saw there was interest in people who even didn't care so much about fashion, but they wanted to know. And that's really how I got into the fashion. And plus, I had loved fashion my entire life. It was
Obviously.
so once I got into that, and I sort of stayed there. I had a nice niche, and I was very happy focusing on fashion.
Wow, what a story. I am just blown away by the way your life has arrived exactly where you're supposed to be.
Well, I mean, I feel like I really played a role in steering it. where I
Absolutely.
wanted it.
No, this wasn't just,
Right.
that life dropped you here, but that you saw the road through the forest and made your road.
Well, I made a plan going in, so I think that was really helpful.
Fantastic. So, greatest moment writing a book? Did you have like one of those, "Ooh, this is why I did this"?
I've had so many. I mean, really, it's the people I've met writing my books.
Right.
I've made wonderful friends. I mean, I wrote the Project Runway book.
Yes.
And so, I mean, I had a wonderful interview with Michael Kors, which was very special to me.
I have his bag. You know.
Me too.
So
I
many.
don't.
But just the wonderful friends I've made from that show alone, the designers that were on the show, and I think just seeing your book actually in print on the shelves in a bookstore is
Yes.
amazing.
That's amazing, isn't
It's
it?
such an
Just to
accomplishment.
see- Wow, that's exciting. Now, any crazy moments? You don't have to mention any names, but like, why am I doing this?
Oh my gosh, like every day. There's so many. So I worked on Project Runway,
Right.
and so I got to go to the set when they were doing the show. I mean, that was crazy in itself, but the show encouraged me to go so I could,
Right.
be with all the people and do some interviews. But then when I got there, the show had no idea why I was there.
Oh God, really?
So it was very awkward, and that was kind of like like you have to, well, as the show would say, make it work kind of moment. Yeah. So you
I
have
have a
to just
feeling you
figure
know how
it
to
out.
make life work.
I tried.
I think you absolutely know how to make life work.
Well,
So, what is the book or the interview or something that you didn't get? Is there one of those that, maybe the person is not around anymore, or that moment has passed, that missed moment? Did you have one of those? Or did-
book-wise, you mean? I mean, I gave you my acting.
Yes, acting-wise, yes, but
Yeah.
book-wise.
Book-wise,
The one that got away.
well, I'm not sure if I can talk about it
Oh,
because there's
okay.
one that's in the works, and I don't know if it's
we definitely
getting
don't
away
want
yet,
to jinx
so-
anything that's in the works. Absolutely.
So-
no, because that's not a got away. That's
It's
a future.
I'm not sure if it's gotten away yet, so I have
no,
to check on the status.
I am sure it didn't.
That's right.
It is still out there waiting for you to do. Now, you get, I'm sure, lots of interesting, they'll call them writers, trips or excursions, but for you,
Oh, they can be really fun, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
where's the most interesting place that you've gone for book research?
Oh my gosh, for research?
Or even just well, your books are part of your life.
They are.
So it's not even that you're researching a specific book, it's just part of what you do now.
Mm-hmm.
So most interesting place that you've gotten to be, that we're all going to sit there and say, you were there?
I mean, Oscar de la Renta's office for a private meeting. That was pretty amazing.
Ooh, I bet.
Yeah,
One of
that
those
was
moments that you're
wonderful.
sitting there saying, I'm here.
Yeah.
Pinch me.
It was pretty great.
Yeah. So the closest many of us have gotten to fashion is say, the devil wears Prada.
Right.
Is it true? Is that the way it is?
It can be. Certain
Really?
aspects of it. Sure. I mean, it's not all true. But
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely some truth there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of high energy, very creative people that there's a lot bouncing off the walls, I'm sure.
Yes.
And then you've got to come home and like decompress with the cat or something, just.
You know what? I feed off it. I love it.
Do you?
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it's great.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. So tell us a little bit about, because I know you wrote about shopping.
I did. Well, I mean, I had a lifetime of experience.
I know.
Yes.
So I was reading for tips. My husband is not happy that I was reading for tips.
Sorry. But that's what it is. It's a book all about shopping tips.
Right.
So it tells you how to be a smarter shopper. Little things, like I don't know if you saw this one, but this is one of my favorites. Be aware of carpeted areas in stores.
Oh.
And this is mainly aimed at women with strollers.
Okay.
Because you have to slow down in those areas. So, yeah. So
They do that on purpose?
They do it on purpose. Everything.
Everything is on purpose?
Everything is on purpose, yeah. So you're never going to get a sale rack in the carpeted area.
Wow.
They put the most expensive stuff there
Wow.
because you're going to spend more time there.
Okay, so when I'm in a store, before I even look at the price tags, I know where the most expensive things are based on the flooring.
To the right, you know they're going to be.
Okay.
Because most people go in a store and they go right to the right.
Okay, so they have the expensive things.
So that's going to be an expensive area.
That's
and
true. In Lord and Taylor.
they know what they're doing.
Yes.
And now I'm going to think about the carpeting, too.
Yes,
Exactly.
and think about the sales racks. I mean, they sometimes on purpose they're messy, and so people
On
don't want it.
purpose?
Yes, because it discourages you from spending your time there. They're hard to go through. Sometimes, not always, but some stores
okay.
will do that.
Wow.
And yeah, it's all by design.
It is.
Yes.
Wow.
So
So what
it's-
should we be doing in fashion right now? Is my faux fur okay?
I wear a lot of faux fur. I love it. Yeah.
What's trending? What's new? What should we be doing?
We should be listening to ourselves and
I
not
love
worrying
that.
about what's trending. I
Ooh.
think the purpose of fashion is to make you feel good. So if you're comfortable in what you're wearing and you feel beautiful in it, then that's what you should be wearing. It's not about what's,
I like that.
what's hot at the moment, because that's going to change. So who wants a closet all full of stuff that's outdated in a season?
Right, right. Oh, I like that. Okay, do they like you saying that? Because really.
No, probably not, but
It's not falling off the shelves.
Yeah,
when you
that's
say
right.
that.
Well, but
Well, yes and no, because by saying you should wear and you should buy what makes you feel good, you're actually giving people almost the green light to say, you know what, your fashion is reflective of your feeling inside, so shop.
Right.
Make
Sure.
that as part
Yeah.
of your
That's right.
persona. So maybe the stuff will fly off the
Let's
shelves.
make it happen.
And also,
Absolutely.
if you know what you like and what you feel good in, then when that is a big trend, well, that's the time to jump on it.
Absolutely.
But because it works for you, not because it's a trend.
Exactly, exactly. Well, the first thing we want to fly off the shelves are some of your books. So
That's great.
please make sure you go and find some books because the books are fabulous.
Thank you.
Your husbands will hate you, but hey. But at least now I know about the carpeted areas. But evidently I have 2 books up there and there's a whole lot more. So I'm going to add some more links to the website, and I know I have
Fantastic.
links to all of your social media and stuff. We're just going to take a break and be right back. Thanks so much.
That's right, keep it going, keep it going. That's right, keep it going, keep it going.
Are you a tie lover? You love the diversity in ties because they come in different colors, fabrics, patterns, etc. Get access to a wide variety of neckties. Buy from or trade with other tie lovers. Don't wear ties anymore? You have more ties than you know what to do with? Want to turn all those ties into real money? Do you just need a tie? You just need a tie for a special occasion. Now you can buy a tie today and sell it tomorrow. The Necktie Exchange, the online retailer where you buy, sell, and trade neckties. Register today.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. We're so thrilled to have you. Well, this is definitely our Get Inspired episode so that you can be a better you by the end. Well, they're certainly going to make sure of it. So our second author, who really wants us to be a better me, I'll start pushing up now.
Sure.
Author Rick Collins, who, now this is the book that I got passed along, but besides this, I know you are so preeminent in so many things. You're going to tell us a little bit about that and about working out so that, you know, better you. But tell us a little bit about you and your experiences, and then we'll get to the book.
So it's funny, because Isla was just talking about the idea that you kind of make a plan to a degree, but as you said, sometimes the forces pull you in the direction where you wind up that you're supposed to be.
Where you're supposed to be.
And so I had a double life, so to speak. So I had
The secret life.
The secret life. Well, maybe not like Isla's.
Over the commercial, we heard about the secret life. I'm sorry, I missed that.
So I had a life as a fitness person. I competed in bodybuilding when I was in college. I ran a personal training business called Innovation Fitness. I was a gym manager, so I had like a very strong interest in nutrition and exercise.
Okay.
And then in this other life, I was an attorney. So I went
that
to
was the
law
life I
school.
knew you, and I'm saying.
Sure, there you go. So I went to law school, and I worked as a prosecutor in the Nassau DA's office, and then I went into doing criminal defense work. And so two completely different sort of a professional skill set,
Yes.
and then sort of an avocation.
Right.
And through the years, the vocation and the avocation have essentially combined, and partly by design and partly by plan, but mostly by coincidence and just sort of finding your way through to where you're supposed to be. The year that I went into private practice as an attorney on Long Island was the year that Congress took anabolic steroids, which were performance drugs that mostly, some athletes, but mostly bodybuilders were using, and put them into the same law that dealt with heroin and cocaine and methamphetamine and all the more serious narcotics of abuse. And so the fitness community was sort of surprised to find that they were now in this position like, you know, typical narcotics users. And the government, agencies, police, the courts were really surprised to find what bodybuilders were doing. So there was this disconnect.
Right.
And so I started writing a magazine column for Muscular Development Magazine as an attorney about some of these issues to kind of bring together those two very disparate communities. And then it was suggested that I write a book, which I did, called Legal Muscle.
Yes.
And that was my first book. And it was a book about anabolic steroids, performance drugs, cheating, fairness in sports, in law, in politics, in entertainment, in all aspects, medicine. And so that book made me really on the radar screen of the bodybuilding community even more, and led to my representation of so many people in the fitness community, which was, for me, amazing. So, because I was able to actually be the kid who grew up as a bodybuilding fan, now really doing, as a lawyer, everything that interested me.
That's amazing.
So, and my practice now is essentially where, if you could make a practice where fitness and the law just meet, that's essentially what I do. So I represent sports nutrition companies, dietary supplement companies, people who are involved with all sorts of performance-enhancing drugs. I've gotten to meet so many. We did the legal work for Sylvester Stallone's company at one time. I've spent some time with the former governor of California. I've spent a whole afternoon with him. The first time I ever met him, I do a little impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger. The first time I ever met him, and I was starstruck. I mean, here's a guy that, you know, I could name all of his movies. I've memorized every word. And so I was introduced to him at the Arnold Classic, a bodybuilding show in Columbus, Ohio. And suddenly he's standing there in front of me, and, you know, Rick Collins, I'd like you to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I put out my hand and I said, it's super fantastic what you do. And he's like, why you do an impression of me? And I'm like, I do. I think it's good.
But I have a question. I have a question because I've heard that he's actually not as tall
You know,
as he appears.
everybody says that. You know, I got to say, I was so starstruck looking at him that he seemed like he was 25 feet tall.
Oh, that's so
You know?
funny.
Okay.
And so
I
it
can't
was a-
believe you managed an impression in
I can't believe
my
I did
gosh.
either. You know, I'm
That's
usually not
fantastic.
tongue-tied, so it just came out, and I've met him a number of times since. So for me, I was able to find, as you said before,
You know,
the place where I was
I
meant
love
to
that.
be.
How many times do I hear kids talking about, well, I really love sports, but I guess I have to do something like go into whatever. And I love the way
Yes.
your life has evolved, that you are actually taking your love and your passion and your expertise and your brilliance and bringing them all together into this one thing.
Right.
What an inspiration that is to kids, to grown-ups, everybody who's trying to figure out how to do what you love
Right.
and also be a professional or whatever it is that you do. You too, it's just amazing to hear people who are slaying at it. I think that's just fabulous.
I speak a lot to law students, young lawyers and law students. Some of them are disillusioned, some of them have expectations of what the working world would be, and suddenly it's not what they expected it to be.
Right.
And I say that if you can find a way of integrating what you're passionate about, what you're interested in, into what you do, and not everybody can do it,
Right.
but if you can figure out a way to do that, you're never working a day in your
That's
life.
right.
You'll be the happiest kid on the block.
Well,
and that's
you and
kind
I
of
have
where I am.
certainly done that. That's just amazing to do it and inspirational.
Thank you.
So I looked a little bit at the book,
Mm-hmm.
and I admit I glossed right over all the exercise stuff, and I got to the
Oh,
part
yeah,
that
see
said
that?
that I could drink red wine.
So there you go. You went right to the red wine.
I know how
Yeah,
to read an
that's
exercise
there.
book. I'm like, oh yeah, red wine
There you go.
and chocolate.
And chocolate. Yeah, all the
see how
good stuff
Wow.
right there.
See how
So,
I found that?
It's good.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun book to write because I wrote it while I'm an attorney.
Right.
But it sort of was an opportunity to reconnect with that other side, the fitness and
Right.
bodybuilding and nutrition side. And as somebody who loves to analyze things, and through the research that we did for that book, really realized that there's been so much misinformation about, for example, diet. You bring up
Right.
red wine and things. If you remember back in the day, we were told that there was this food pyramid where you should really eat 6 to 11 servings of grain a day.
Oh my
and
gosh,
very
yes.
little fat, not too much protein, which was great for the grain farmers.
Oh
I mean,
yes.
they were.
I figured they were the ones who
prospering
made that food.
As a yeah, well, it was USDA, but kind of you wonder
Right.
what the motivations were for something that really, if you
Right.
look at the chart of obesity in the United States and you look
true.
at the
Yes.
start of the food pyramid, you're going to see a very close
Oh,
connection.
yeah, all those grains.
And so now I think we've gotten away from that, and people ask what's the best diet. Well, the one you'll stay on is really what it is.
Well, that's like
everybody's
what's the
different.
best fashion? The one that
That's right. It's finding what's right for
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Now you hear so many people who love keto. Others do the Mediterranean diet. Other people like paleo. And, certainly healthy fat in the diet is something that has come back. There was that low-fat craze
Yes.
for a long time, which really was not a good direction because low-fat is usually filled with sugar and all sorts
Right.
of other carbs and stuff that's not good for you. But healthier fats are good, and the fact that we've gotten back to, fat is okay, fat doesn't make you fat, is one of the things that we've covered in that
Yes,
book.
evidently grain makes you fat, not fat, right?
Lots of empty carbs certainly are not a good thing. So so that was we have a large section of the book that was dedicated to helping people find the nutrition, the food plan that works for them.
Right.
It's a 10-week exercise plan, which is somewhat revolutionary because the no 2 workouts, it's 3 workouts a week.
Okay.
No 2 workouts are exactly alike.
Well, that's
Everyone is
good.
different,
Mix
so
it
it
up,
keeps
right.
people excited.
Right.
And then there's a section, coming from sort of my lawyer hat and analyst hat and looking at things, and the column I write for the magazine is sort of kind of where where the bodybuilding community should look at different things in the news, whether it's steroids or freedom issues. I did a column once on whether we should be in favor of bans on smoking in parks or not. There's the health versus the freedom aspect and personal autonomy. So I wanted to do something in the book that was a little bit different. And there's a whole section of the book that really is about attitude changing, really finding confidence, really increasing your courage, reaching sort of that alpha state as a person to make yourself the best that you can
like
be.
your skydiving.
Like my skydiving was, yeah. I've done some very, very cool things. I've challenged myself with climbing Pikes Peak and some other, mountains. Spent some time camping in the Grand Canyon. We didn't do that.
Just figured I'd mention there is that thing that goes up to the
There is, yes. And Mount Washington as well.
Yeah.
So that's on the bucket list and a few other things. So.
I guess you're not buying tickets for the little train that goes to the top.
Yeah, I'm not going to go. Try something a little different. What I find, though, is if everybody has different levels of what they're capable of, realistically. And
but
some
pushing
people
the
are
envelope.
daredevils. But wherever you are, if you can push yourself just a little bit further, you will make that muscle grow. You'll increase that muscle that is our courage and that is our resiliency. That's our self-sufficiency. That's our inner confidence, and it will. You'll benefit by that. So wherever you have that opportunity to kind of push those limits out, those boundaries out.
Every day, do something that you're
that scares you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be terrifying, but
I'm in the right place.
Absolutely.
Because I'm scared.
Because you're scared. No, you're doing great. You're doing
start
great.
wherever you are.
Well, listen, it's about 10 weeks till summer, so get the Alpha Male.
Perfect timing.
This is perfect timing. So I know Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com, any of those places. 10 weeks till summer, so get right on it. We're going to take a short commercial, and we'll be right back.
Is that you on the cover?
Everybody get up when you're feeling down. Everybody get up, turn your life around.
When you trust yourself, you have the power to make up your life. Studio 1031 is an environment where excellence is always expected. We work with all types of people from all walks of life. We give deserving women something that they wouldn't give themselves.
Everybody get up.
Come join this makeup movement. When you're feeling down, turn your life around. Make up your life.
I know it's gonna be alright.
Do you have a book, either in your head or on your desk, just waiting to get out to anxious readers? Hi, I'm Stephanie Larkin, author, book developer, and head penguin at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company specializing in books of all genres and publishing in all formats, including digital, audible, and print books. From business books to romance, memoirs to mysteries, our authors have complete control over their books from start to print. We'll help get your book to booksellers all around. Major booksellers such as Amazon, Apple, Kobo, Walmart, even libraries and bookstores around the world. We believe in our authors. So call or email today to get your free publisher's packet to get started. Just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and get your book out there and into the hands of your readers. At Red Penguin Books, you call all the shots. So call us today and turn your dreams into a reality. Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, if you haven't gotten inspired tonight, you're really not paying much attention, are you? You missed it during the commercial. He had us doing push-ups. I was walking around in the high-heeled shoes. It was a thing. Our next guest is Executive Coach and Diversity Chair for New York State, Lois Cooper, who is talking to us about taking our life in a new direction.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So that book was inspired at the end of 2014, and my corporate job, where I had been for 16 years, decided to relocate to Florida.
There's that.
And so they moved without me, as I say.
Oh, the nerve. The nerve.
Someone asked me 3 really life-changing questions. They said, what do you want? They said, what will you accept? And they said, what will you say no to?
Ooh, we
And
should
so
ask
I had
ourselves
to-
those questions
yeah.
every morning.
I share that a lot with people.
What?
And
Say them again.
what do you want?
What do you want?
What will you accept?
Right.
And what will you say no to?
Okay.
All right? And so I thought about it, and I said, you know what? I really don't want to do that corporate 9 to 9 anymore.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with my husband about it, who was totally supportive. And so my company, they did sponsor me to become a coach. So I'm sponsored through the International Coach Federation.
Right.
I have several different gigs now, which I highly recommend.
Yeah.
Don't do just one thing.
Yes.
Do lots of different things.
Yeah,
that you
well,
love.
you've got the king and queen of doing everything over here. They're doing everything possible all at the same time.
And it's like my 3 life principles are in the book. The first is live in the moment.
Yes.
Because I think there's way too many people who are missing out because they're looking at everything through a small screen.
Yes.
So I was at a Patti LaBelle concert, and she's like so dynamic, and she's throwing her shoes off and whatnot. And this person in front of me is just looking through at the whole concert through
I hate
a
that.
screen.
I'll go to concerts with kids,
Yes.
and people are watching. There's your kid on stage, and they're like this.
Yes, exactly.
Saying you're missing it.
Right.
You're
Yes.
missing the whole thing. Not to mention, let's be honest, are you really going to go home and watch that video? I mean, probably, but they're watching the entire thing like this. This is it. This is life.
Life, exactly.
This is life, and you're missing it.
The second is follow your passion, and I think we can
Oh,
all-
we got passion going on over here.
And you know what I love when I'm coaching, because I had someone who was an analyst, and she was in transition, and she's like, but Lois, I really love food. I love to cook. I like to be
like
around
food.
food. And so I said, well, do you know anyone in the food business or catering? So she got to know some people, started to volunteer, and then she ended up as an analyst for Blue Apron.
Oh.
So how about that? And I love to see when those types of things happen for people.
Yeah.
Okay? And then the last principle is really keep the faith, because I think we all need to be grounded and centered, and we need something that's going to give us hope.
Yes, absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about being the diversity chair. That's like, wow.
Well, diversity has been in my blood since I was 5. And I found that out because I was fired from my first job when I was 5.
There are child labor laws.
I was going to
No,
say.
and you're the attorney,
from
right?
that.
We got an attorney
Wanna
right
give you
here
my
on that. Who fired you at 5?
My first grade teacher,
Wow.
because I was a milk monitor along with another student.
Right.
And there were 16 students in the class. And so, as the milk monitor, you go down the hall to the refrigerator. The janitor says, how many milks do you want? And you tell them. So, only 8 students' parents could afford to pay for the milk. So I was supposed to get 8. But every day, I said 16, because everybody deserved to have milk.
Yeah.
And so my teacher said to me one day, if you come back with 16 milks, you're fired. So we go down the hall. Okay, we have our crate. We come back. Before we come back, the donor says, how many? I say 16. And my partner's like, no, 8, no. And so I said, 16.
I love this 5-year-old. Oh, my God.
So that was my first experience with diversity, and I've tried to make it a part of my job, wherever I've been.
Right.
So this new appointment is for Society of Human Resources Management,
Right.
and I am the director for SHRM New York State. So I find out what diversity councils around the state are doing in this very important work.
Absolutely. Wow. So even at age 5, you were
I wanted
doing
people to be treated fairly.
I love that. I absolutely love that. We need more 5-year-olds who are out there getting milk for everybody.
We'll change the child labor laws.
In that case, right?
I like how the school was on the honor system.
Well, that was until they had Lois. Then from then on, it went off the honor system, and the teacher would write the number, or they had a big chart or something, all because of you. All because of you. Now, of course, she never worried about the fact that at the end of the day, there were 8 children who didn't get milk because that didn't come into play. That didn't come into play.
Nope, not at all.
Do you deal mostly with people who are middle of life, change of career, beginning of their careers? Is there a specialty, or do you see there being a trend? Because I hear a lot about middle of life people who are either because of downsizing, excising, forced retirement, or they have gotten to a point in their life that they said, you know what, I want Act 2. I want to do something different. And thankfully, we're not washed up when we're at a certain age anymore. We can do
Correct.
that. So that's what I hear a lot of, is kind of middle of life saying, I've been going in this direction, and you know what?
Well, one of my gigs is as a career transition coach.
Okay.
So I do work with a lot of people who have been impacted, by an act by their employer.
Okay.
And so I have a lot of people who say, what do I want to be when I grow up?
Do any of us really know?
And so, there's a lot of that career exploration, that kind of soul searching,
Right.
and just really kind of figuring out who you are. Because a lot of times you start a job, you just keep working, life happens,
Yes.
and the next thing you know, 30 years have gone by.
It happens like that.
That's
doesn't
right.
it?
That's right.
It's
So,
really, really in the blink of an eye that it
Yes.
goes by so fast. So whether you have, like, the two of you sound like you guided the career and life choices along the way, and other people wake up one morning and realize, I'm over here, and I really want to be over here. It's great if you could see it coming and make it happen, but even if you wake up on that morning, it's not too late.
well, so many people say, you know what, I've been thinking about making a change anyway, so this decision that my company made is now forcing me to do it.
Right. And that's kind of almost like Isla when she was turned down for As the World Turns because they were jerks and didn't see that.
That's right.
But it's taking, when life hands you this fork in the road, they said, well, who's the one who said, if life hands you a fork in the road, take it?
Right.
But to say, okay, this is the hands that I was dealt, and look at where you've taken it. If that didn't happen, what would you be? A soap opera star?
Right. And we get to have Isla here instead of Parker Posey.
That's right.
Well, thank goodness for that.
So we all benefit.
We all benefit.
win-win.
Absolutely, we all benefit. I had asked you to bring along some books that you might recommend, and of course, you brought one of my favorites over there. So if you could tell us a little bit about that.
I just finished rereading this.
Did you?
Because I look at it sometimes on my bookshelf and I say, you know what? I really want to get into this again because it's so poetic. But it's The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison.
Right.
And it's just about a young African-American girl who unfortunately had a lot of self-esteem issues because of her race and because of what people said about her. And so she wanted blue eyes. And so it's a beautiful book, And I did bring something here that I was reading the other day because I do read all the time.
Oh, good for
I
you.
love to read. And it's just something, I won't read the whole thing, but it just says, my black is victorious, uplifting, unique, triumphant, true, thoughtful. And that's all the things that little girls like this need to hear much more often.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure you're shouting it from the rooftops
Yep.
to make sure they hear it.
Absolutely.
I love that. Tell us about
Thank you.
this.
So this is Don't Label Me.
Ah,
And,
we're all about that here tonight.
It definitely fits in with what you've been saying, and
Yes.
that is, it's a book about really how labels reduce people to single words and take away their individuality. So,
Yep.
so instead of really allowing people to be themselves in the complex ways that all of us are. It's using a single word, female or male, these sort of binary sorts of things that really rob us of our individuality and separate us.
Yes.
And at a time when this country is becoming more and more
separated,
polarized into two camps that really can't get along, and it's by a gay, Muslim, female, Canadian, who proudly says, there's more labels for me than anybody, and doesn't feel that any of those labels really define her.
Right.
And so it's about sort of not using those labels maybe as a starting point, but not an end point, so that we get to know each other.
I love that. I'm not
too.
familiar with that book. I am totally going to get on board with that.
Arshad Manji. Yes.
Maybe.
Manji, I think is what she said. So, yeah.
We got a good look at the cover. We can Google it.
We're good.
We can Google it.
Yeah, good look.
And what are you reading? I know it's on a Kindle, so
I know I have a Kindle situation, so I don't have a physical
I know
copy.
it's so hard when we have a Kindle situation.
I know. So sorry, but it's the sweetest book. It's called Between Two Days by Rory Lance, and it's just the sweetest story about his mother and his experience with her growing up. And it's just
I love
the
that.
nicest story.
Well, I thank you all for not bringing Kindle books so I could get nice autographs on books because, I mean, Kindle is great, but autographs are better. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Me llaman Dan Pablo y hace más de 20 años me enamoré de una colombiana. Viajé a su país y conocí un estilo de café muy distinto, muy especial. Ahora tostamos cafés excelentes, con alturas y microclimas diferentes, resultado en una taza muy compleja y muy rica, un sabor nuevo en el mundo. Fue un éxito. And I even got to keep the girl.
Inspired by aerobic classes and a dream, Body by Tamika has helped hundreds of women reach their fitness goals. One size doesn't fit all, and neither should your fitness experience. Body by Tamika is about creating an environment where women can come together to work out, meet new friends, and get inspired. Whether you desire to lose weight, tone up, or prepare for a mommy makeover, Body by Tamika is here to help. Body by Tamika is considerate to female weight loss challenges resulting from pregnancy and or life changes that can be extremely resistant to diet and exercise. For stubborn problem areas, Body by Tamika offers non-invasive aesthetic procedures such as laser lipo and wood slimming body contouring. Book your free consultation today to see for yourself.
Are you a tie lover? You love the diversity in ties because they come in different colors, fabrics, patterns, etc. Get access to a wide variety of neckties. Buy from or trade with other tie lovers. Don't wear ties anymore? You have more ties than you know what to do with? Want to turn all those ties into real money? Do you just need a tie? You just need a tie for a special occasion. Now you can buy a tie today and sell it tomorrow. The Necktie Exchange, the online retailer where you buy, sell, and trade neckties. Register today.
Ma'am?
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thanks so much for joining us. I asked our fabulous inspirational authors for one final tip, and you missed the commercial break because they gave me 50 tips. So Isla, what would you like to share with our viewers? And hopefully while she's sharing, we have a slide with her name, and remember to go to BetweenTheCoversTV.com for all of our authors' links and where to get their books and everything else like that. So we were joking around, so is it, brown shoes, blue shoes? No.
No, I'm not dealing with that. But what I will say is that I can't stress enough how you should try on different things
Oh, okay.
Even stuff that you think isn't going to work on you, you might be very surprised once you actually put it on.
You know, I love that because my older son loves to go shopping with me, and he will notoriously pick something that I say, "Are you kidding?" And it becomes my favorite thing.
Right. So you really don't know until
You don't
put it
know.
on how it's
And
gonna
a
look.
second pair of eyes is good too, because I think
is.
we have a tendency to always go towards the same thing. So somebody else who says, "Try this."
Right. Well, some people have like a closet full of black sweaters, and it's really the same shirt just 10 times.
Right. I admit that.
Slight variations.
Except they're red, of course. But that's a great tip. Is try to break out of that mold, and next thing you know, you're jumping out of an airplane. So breaking out of that mold,
come
which
join me
brings
next
us
time.
to-
which brings us to what do you want to leave our?
So I'll do a quote from Fight Club,
Oh,
which is, "This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time." So you got to go out, Tyler Durden. You got to go out and enjoy. The clock is ticking down. Go out and do the things you want to do. If you want to jump out of a plane, you jump out of a plane. Whatever things that you want
have
to
a
do.
parachute though.
Yeah, well, yes, absolutely. Well, you didn't need one because you did.
Well, no, because I was doing that fake
Yeah,
skydiving
you
with
did
the giant
wind
fan.
tunnel. Yes, the giant fan. But that's a start for some people,
It
and why
was.
not? And then you'll graduate, and then you'll come out with me, and I'm now a licensed skydiver.
Oh,
I
so he can
actually-
do-
I can. I
So
can
wait,
do
that's
solo
when
jumps
I
and
get
all that.
strapped to you and
You
we
ready
jump
for that?
together. I'm there.
So there we go.
Very cool. I like that. Lois?
I have eliminated using the word just in my vocabulary.
Oh, I like that.
With the exception of one thing.
Okay.
And my motto is just say yes.
Oh. That's so funny. We went through so much of just say no. And we don't say yes.
Absolutely. And opportunities just start coming your way.
I think
It's
you're
amazing.
absolutely right. Say yes. Go. And it's right there with push the boundary a little
Yes.
bit. Do something that you're a little bit afraid of. Try on something new. Go outside of yourself. Don't. We all have a tendency to say no to life. And today we're all about saying yes to life.
This is quite a themed show.
You see this? You see this?
It's a talent, putting it all
I like
together.
that. I like that.
Would
Well,
work
I
out
hope that
this
our
way
viewers have
together.
been completely inspired. Please visit us at BetweenTheCoversTV.com to learn more about these fabulous authors and join us and get inspired and say yes to life.
Say yes.
Thanks so
All right.
much. Take care.